What's up, guys? Jeff from Wisconsin RC Construction. As you can see, I got some new shirts made. No longer wearing that high-vis green. I do have some of these that are high-vis green, but I also have a sweatshirt too. So you'll be seeing this at Cabin Fever. You'll be seeing me out and about. I'll be wearing my new shirts. They have the Facebook logo on it, YouTube logo on it. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the Facebook Wisconsin RC Construction group as well. I had redone the Huina excavator, or not the excavator, the Huina dump truck with all WPL parts. I had it all said and done. I had a catastrophic failure with the ESCs. So I had to go back and redo it all. So I want to show you what I did. So let's get this set up. There we go. Alright, so guys, the Huina dump truck right here, I have all set up now, all said and done. Final version of this, we do have the 380 can with the gear reduction motor. Metal drive shafts front and rear. I kept the plastic intermediary shaft. Not really too concerned about that one. What I do have though, there is no suspension on this. We are mounted directly to the frame. I am bolted to the frame with some 2mm screws on this one. Same as the front. So if we look at the front, we have 2mm screws. I also have a axle mounted servo plate that I got from Amazon, modified. And when I mean modified, it's no longer mounted to the axle. Right now, the axle mounted servo is mounted right to the frame because it spans the whole length, or just about the whole length of the frame. So I have it drilled in and bolted in to the frame, and I have the servo sitting on top of the axle, kind of like it would if you had a servo mount plate in there. I couldn't fit that in there because I needed room for the diff housing to fit in between the rails, so I had to go up one step higher. I do have wheel weights, the WPL wheel weights, on the front tires for a little more added weight. I wanted to make sure I had enough traction in the front because I do have this as 6-wheel drive. It is up and working, 100% right now. So we have this all said and done. To access the battery, what we're doing is we're taking off this front cover right here. There's 2 screws that hold it down at the bottom, and you just pry that off. I have a little plate mounted in the back. When you do take yours off, you'll see that you can fit on a piece of acrylic that you can get mounted to the back wall there. And that's going to be your makeshift mounting plate. So my makeshift mounting plate, I have my 6-channel FlySky receiver on it. I have a speed controller on it. And when I said I had a catastrophic failure, I had one of those blue little blister-packed ESCs, poof, go up in smoke on me. Actually lit on fire. I had to disconnect the battery and blow it out real quick. Glad I checked that with the cover off of the truck, because that could have been bad. That could have turned into a real bad problem really quick, if you know what I mean. YouTube search lipo fires. Not cool. So I did catch that with the cover off before I put it all back together. I did put in one of those little blister packed ESCs. I found a red one, which they're 20 amps, a little bit bigger. I'm testing the waters. So far, so good. So back to the truck. We have it all set up on here. I have it set up so reverse and backwards. I can turn my lights on. So when I mean I turn the lights on, you can see I got some headlights all set up for it. I did the same for the rear. We just have some rear lights that turn on. They showing up white on the camera. They're red. Don't worry, guys. They're not reverse lights. I actually have red LEDs inside behind the red housing, so it is showing up red. So we have forward, reverse, and that's all on one stick. Steering is on the same stick too. To tip the bed, we're going to tip it up on the right stick. And that motor and lift mechanism is still... Well, that didn't work. The motor, sorry guys. The modem and the lift mechanism is still the stock Huina stuff. So I didn't change any of that. I see a lot of other guys switching to an actuator. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to keep this quick and simple, kind of down and dirty. I want to get this build done and completed so I can be done with it. That was probably the quickest way. The stock motor, I didn't see being a real big issue. The biggest issue I found when we were doing this, when we were out in the field and actually putting this thing to work, is when you load it with some heavy wet sand, doesn't like to drop it off and dump so much. I'm hoping with the new high-powered ESC versus the stock board, I'll have a little more power to lift this thing up. So then we can actually... Oh, geez, I'm all about that. There we go. All right, so back to this. I can go down, goes down, up, it goes up. So I do have the forward and reverse function. Working on this, I do have the construction beacon just on a switch. That's one of those 5 or 7 position construction beacons. So that's going to be able to change any of your functions. So that is pretty much your Huina upgrade, switching it from your Huina electronics to your WPL chassis. It does sit lower than what it did before. I did raise it down, so it is sitting directly on your motor mount for your rear. I had to make a custom bracket in the front to hold it up for it to sit level. That's all glued in. That's a piece of the styrene as well. Screwed to the chassis, screwed to the frame, glued together, and screwed together. I am holding the back part of the chassis. I'm still using the WPL rear bumper mount that they give you. So the stock WPL bumper mount that they give you with the little light mounts on it, I have screwed that to the bottom of the Huina for added strength. I didn't want to leave it just with it being glued in certain spots. I found that was starting to break. It was twisting a little bit more than I'd like it to twist. So screwing it into those 2 locations really locked it up kind of tight. I did add a trailer hitch to the back of this one. It's one of the pin style, not the pintle hitch style. It's that pin style. There you go. Picked that up off of Amazon. So it's that pin style one, and I did get the quad axle trailer printed for this thing. If you guys are on the Facebook group, you saw the post that I made of this with the quad axle. It takes up my whole table. That is a big setup. The quad axle does need to be run, needs to be worked in. It's all 3D printed. There's 3D printed bushings in there, so I did grease it, but the plastic needs to wear in its spot and start rolling smoothly. My tandem axle finally rolls smooth, but I've drug it around with the Dodge Ram for probably about 6 months now. So I'm starting to print a lot more of that stuff. So that trailer is by Robert Waring. He's on this group. You can find his file on Thingiverse, free to download. Play around with it. It's really cool. He's got a couple of cool designs on it. He also has a 5th wheel one, so we have a... Ooh, too much light. There we go. We do have a back part to a trailer. I was debating on cutting off the little end of the trailer and adding this to it, but I'm going to keep this talk about the Huina. So we have the Huina. I'm running it on a 2S. I switched out the drive ESC to one of the 1625s from Hobby Wing that I use a lot of. I use a lot of those. They're in a lot of my builds that I do. They're reliable for me. The blister pack ones, like I said, I've had some random issues. Some people have great luck with it. I'm not so lucky. I'll take it for what it is. So I will be doing you guys another video about the rest of the stuff. I wanted to keep this one specific about the Huina, so that's going to go on my Huina build. So you'll find that one there. That'll also be going to the Huina RC group for those guys to post all the videos there too. So, like I said, I am done with the Huina dump truck. Wheel weights in the front. We're doing WPL version 1 hard tires. I kept the stock rims the same color. I am using the 380 gear reduction motor from WPL with WPL metal drive shafts. There's metal axle shafts inside of the axles, plastic housing, but they are greased. Stock Huina or stock WPL servo with a servo or an axle mounted servo kit that I picked up off of Amazon. And that's pretty much what you guys need to do to get these things converted over to be more of a comparable truck to some of the Brooders, to your Western Star. It actually will probably outperform a lot of those because it is the 6-wheel drive now. The front drives are actually powered. I shouldn't be running into a lot of issues before where the nose was just diving into the sand and digging yourself ruts, and that was no good whatsoever. So I'm going to shut this off. My radio is yelling at me because I haven't touched anything in a while. So that's the Huina build. I'll do another one in a few minutes. You guys will see that on YouTube and the Facebook. So remember, like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Wisconsin RC Construction. The Facebook group, Wisconsin RC Construction. It's WIRC Construction. Until next time, guys, have a good one.